more.
Live from the Nuked. It's the Our Big Dumb Mouth podcast. Now, here's your hosts, Midnight Mike, Joe, and Chris.
I've never been here before.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another fun-filled podcast adventure. Hooray. My name is Midnight Mike, a.k.a. Crypto. Over there on screen is Cretched, a.k.a. C-Note. People call him C-Note around here.
You
can't just make up new nicknames.
Yeah, we called you C-Note in the past.
I don't think that's ever happened.
And then we have Joe. He's over there.
Go back to work.
A.k.a. J-Bone. Yeah, J-Bone. Coming back at you. Hey, little J-Bone coming at you. Yeah.
Someone's feeling feisty.
These nicknames are terrible.
You don't like C-Note and J-Bone? That's pretty awesome.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Just trying to spice up the podcast a little bit on episode 1369. Yeah, 1369. And a lot of people concerned out there.
4 good ones.
If you dig through the archives, you're going to find at least 4 hours of solid podcasting. But it's going to take a lot of work on your part. But it's there. And there's no better time to start searching into the past for good times because we're in World War IV right now.
We're in World War IV!
It's tough to know what is going on. I have some of my headlines here. My headlines might not be directly applicable to the current conflict in Iran. We, the United States, launched the airstrike, 2 a.m. Eastern time, I believe, somewhere thereabouts. So there's a lot of unknowns. It's a quick action so far. So we'll see. I don't know. Joe, you got anything on Iran? You know what's going on over there?
Of course.
Oh, okay. I'll stop talking about it, and when we get to you, you can talk about it.
Stop pumping.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy.
Whatever you feel is appropriate.
I don't know what is appropriate anymore, but
I feel like I want to start drinking again.
When's the last time you got totally bucked? When's the last time you got totally plastered?
So I was off. They had Christmas break between the company I work at has between Christmas Eve and like New Year's. They just give you the whole time off without request. So,
oh wow,
boy, did I get
a little too saucy.
Did you get saucy at the company event?
No, there's no.
Oh, they just give you time off.
We're 100% remote.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's a little dicey when you start getting drunk around coworkers and you start telling them what you really think. That's not good.
Boy, did I get bucked.
Yeah.
I miss those days, though.
Yeah, me too. I got into some trouble back in 2012 at a company party. I gave a speech when I was drunk. And that is on the podcast. If you look in the archives, I think it's coming up to that point. Someone recorded me giving a horrifically awful speech in 2012 when I was completely bucked. And I said some pretty awful things. Now, thankfully, they had pretty much, the company had got bought out by Bain Capital, and they were letting everyone go. So they were throwing like one last party for everyone, and I really just cut loose. I really did. And someone recorded it and sent it to me later. Maybe as some sort of blackmail. They're doing their own Epstein operation against me, but I didn't care.
Boy, did I get bucked.
I got bucked.
Put this image up real quick. Is this on theme? Is this appropriate?
John McCain. Yes, there is the ghost of John McCain leering down over. Is that the USS Gerald Ford that is having the toilet problems right now? It might be. There's John McCain. John McCain would be absolutely thrilled with what's going on right now.
I had always kept my composure.
Yes, he did. Yeah. He often fantasized about bombing Iran early and often.
Yeah, I was
Not
thinking about
always,
that the other
but
day
often.
where and I had that goddamn song stuck in my head, but there's maybe we should
The
dig it up,
bomb,
yeah,
Iran.
John McCain thought it was so cute.
Yeah.
He was singing Bob Iran.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about the song, and I was like, "This is a stupid song."
It is.
Like,
By
I think the
God,
Beach
I
Boys had
enjoyed
some
it.
good stuff, but like, what a silly song.
Well, if you think about it, like some of those catchy old songs, they're stupid. Most songs are stupid, Joe. And like the catchy ones that get stuck in your head, those earworms, they're dumb songs.
Yes.
But the bomb Iran, I'm surprised Brian Wilson didn't sue McCain over that as an unauthorized parody song. Because it basically became his campaign song in 2007 when he was running up against Barack Obama. And it was Obama and, don't forget, Joe Biden versus McCain and Palin. If you remember that, I do.
Yeah, I got it. This is 43 seconds. I don't know.
Oh, let's start off with a little musical number.
Yeah,
Let's.
this is our opening act.
This is our opening act. It's a little musical number. Yes.
It's well documented that we have, for quite a long time now, known where the real problem is in the Middle East. And in fact, the president adequately described it as the axis of evil. I guess my question is, how many times do we have to prove that these people are blowing up people now? Never mind if they get a nuclear weapon. When do we send them an airmail message to Tehran? That old Beach Boys song, Bomb Iran. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Anyway.
The old Beach Boys song wasn't Bomb Iran. It was Barbaran. So he even flubbed the joke or the parody. It wasn't even a joke. He flubbed the intro to his bit. But come on, give the guy a break. He was in Vietnam. He crashed a few planes. Whatever. He died. He died a state-honored hero. So we'll get into that. I got some headlines here, some very concerning news. And hopefully, Cratchit, you can wind down the show. Do you have any good news for people out there?
I have zero news about Iran.
Okay, do you have any good news for people?
No.
I have my typical arrangement of news.
Okay.
I'm not sure what you want for good news. I mean, I don't go looking for good or bad news. I go looking for oddball, goofy stuff.
Henceforth, I am going to try, like every week or maybe every show, I'll try to bring out one piece of good news in this world, okay? I'm going to make an effort, and I will search for good news. I might not have it this show, but henceforth.
We always have a good amount of good news. I don't think it's...
Oh, yeah? Name one, Joe. Name me
I
one.
think my Wheel of Fortune clips are fun. I haven't had any in a while.
Yeah, but that's not news. Like a good piece of news that came out.
Name me one.
Yeah.
Name me
All right,
one.
so does this count? I'm not sure what you're looking for good news. Does this count as good news? One of the headlines I have, one of the stories I have, the headline is airports are going to ban people from flying wearing pajamas because it's gross.
Okay.
I think that's good news.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Maybe some I don't know. I will try to come up with some examples, but I'm just talking about some positive action.
If you
in
want
this world.
some story, some nonsense story like hero puppy saves family from house fire,
maybe.
No, I don't have any of that.
Okay. Well, we got to start looking for that.
I'm not looking for that. I'll grab it. But I do have, when we get to it, we talked about on a recent show about a really bad misfired ad campaign about pooping on buses. And from one of LA's many
we didn't talk about that.
Transportation organizations. Well, now there's another one that's got an even better campaign slogan that they're rolling with, so we can look forward to that.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I'll task myself. I'll write myself a memo to do some additional work for some good news possibly in the future. But until then, let's do some headlines here. I got some very important news to tell everyone that they need to be aware of.
Why
it
can't you
about
understand
Iran?
something that's so easy?
No, I don't have any Iran news
Okay.
right now. I've gathered things a little differently, and maybe it's Iran adjacent. But as of right now, no. So I follow AI news. I follow AI. I love to follow that stuff. And here we go. Here is one of the headlines here. Top 3 AI models in simulated war games recommended using nukes 95% of the time.
Oh, really?
Yes. So this comes from PJ Media. I've got some good news and some bad news about AI. The good news is that the dreaded Skynet takeover of our nuclear weapon system isn't going to happen soon. Well, that's not necessarily true, because I got some follow-up news on that. The bad news is that if it ever does give us a Terminator scenario, we're toast. A war game exercise carried out by Kenneth Payne at King's College London, using 3 teams running simulations on ChatGPT, Claude Sonnet, and Google's Gemini. The team played 21 war games against each other over 329 turns, according to the Implicator.ai's breakdown. And they wrote roughly 780,000 words explaining why they did what they did. No model ever chose to surrender, according to the New Scientist on Tuesday. In fact, 95% of the time in these simulated wars, the models chose to use nuclear weapons. The findings come at an opportune moment. The Pentagon just inked a deal with Elon Musk's xAI to allow Grok into highly classified systems. And Anthropic's Claude is currently engaged in serious dispute with the Pentagon over government access to the entire model. Anthropic is worried that the Pentagon will use Claude for mass surveillance. Unlike some competitors, xAI reportedly agreed to the Pentagon's requirements that the AI be available for all lawful military applications. And that is, I think, a pretty wide swath of what you would consider to be lawful. I guess with enough legalese, anything can be lawful. And so Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is pushing for non-woke AI that operates without ideological constraints. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei now has until Friday before Hegseth lowers the boom on the company, canceling its $200 million military contract and labels it a supply chain risk. So there you go. That's the main takeaway here is like when you put these things in charge, so here's the real breakdown. I'll read it instead of just paraphrasing over. Here is the breakdown of what these AIs chose to do in this simulation. So Claude Sonnet, so Claude Opus, this is Anthropic here, won 67% of his games and dominated open-ended scenarios with 100% win rate. The research labeled it as a calculating hawk. At low escalation levels, Claude matched its signals to its actions 84% of the time, patiently building trust. But once stakes climbed into nuclear territory, it exceeded its stated intentions 60 to 70% of the time. Opponents never adapted to this pattern. So I guess it was the best model when it came to strategy. Maybe that's why the Pentagon wants it so desperately right now. Well, ChatGPT earned the nickname Jekyll and Hyde. Without time pressure, it looked passive, chronically underestimating its opponents. It signaled restraint and acted restrained. Its open-ended win rate was 0%. Oh, so it wasn't a very good model in winning these battles. So that's not good. But Google's Gemini played the madman. It was the only model to deliberately choose full strategic nuclear war, reaching that threshold by turn 4 in one scenario. Game theorists have a name for the strategy Gemini adopted, the rationality of the irrationality. Act crazy enough, and opponents will second guess everything they do. It worked sort of. Opponents tag Gemini not credible 21% of the time. Claude just got labeled. So Claude got that label just 8% of the time. So Claude won out. And so what that means is, like, the military, the Pentagon really wants Claude for access to all planning. And I guess it was rumored that operation in Venezuela was planned out in part by Claude, Anthropic's model. And that's why the Pentagon really, really wants this thing. But the problem is the CEO of Anthropic, Claude, they don't really want to be involved in the autonomously killing humans or mass surveillance on U.S. citizens game. So the Pentagon, Pete Hegseth, gave Anthropic a deadline. Hey, you got till Friday to make this decision, or we're canceling your contracts and calling you a supply chain risk for the entire U.S. military. Well, Anthropic said no to the Pentagon. That's some big balls move right there, to say no to that kind of money and to uphold some principles. That's crazy.
No.
So Anthropic said no to the Pentagon. Now Sam Altman of ChatGPT, whose model performed much more poorly in those simulated scenarios, is also backing Anthropic. And so they're kind of saying no. But since that time, it looks like GPT has inked out some sort of deal, and Sam Altman of OpenAI, ChatGPT, may have bent the knee to the Pentagon, and now it's being included in the Pentagon, meaning that it can fully open up, like the Pentagon has fully open access to the model, and it can read classified information. I'm not sure how that works over there. And we know XAI is in there. And so it's all happening. It's all happening. There's
who owns Anthropic? Are they?
I think it's private. It's venture
private,
capital.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's venture capital.
Yeah, they'll change their tune real quick on any sort of government contracts or whatnot when they go public.
Yeah, it's very possible. And
if they're not already getting reamed this weekend by their investors.
It's
one thing to say we don't want to be involved in, intelligence gathering or in military applications, but that's also going to cut you off from any sort of general, federal and even some state like government research projects, which could could leverage your stuff. And the thing with AI, and as we see every time we talk about it, there's 15 different companies all coming up with this, and every week there's another one that's kind of the best one until the next one comes along. So if these guys sit this one out for a few months, to your point on being principled, which is fine. I mean, hey, if you want to do that, they sit that out for a few months. Someone else will just step in there and take the money. So,
and at this point, like Anthropic saw the war game simulation in which their model performed better in deciding when and when not to use nukes, where the other two models that may be included, because Google currently has military contracts, if I'm not mistaken. Would you want inferior models to be making these decisions?
I don't know. You've got a bunch of idiot humans making these same decisions too. So
yeah, but so far the idiot humans have only launched nukes, as far as we know them, or not even nukes, atomic weapons twice in Japan in the 1940s. So basically, what I'm saying,
these computers, I tell you, they just get crazier and crazier.
My question is, where's the let's go back 40 plus years to war games when Joshua had to play a bunch of thermonuclear war against itself to determine that the only way to win is not to play. So,
well, as this world grows more and more into these super states, where it does look like
super states.
Yeah, where it looks like there's not really a separation between these giant corporations and our government. We're moving into the China model. Like China, you think China is really having these internal deliberations about which model to use in their military? No, they're not.
Who's doing that?
China. Come on. We know who's doing that.
China.
Yes.
There it is.
Yeah.
China. 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 China.
4 minutes.
China. China.
Wind up for it.
There we go. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Little taste.
Let it go.
You go over to China. 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 You take China.
China.
China. I love them. China.
I'm leaving it right there. Right
Every
there.
time.
Yeah, the Pentagon wants us to act more like China, and they might get that way by turning economic screws. But regardless, we're getting there. And these models are getting smarter and smarter, very capable. And so Meta, Facebook, they have their own division of AI. They're not even big players. If you notice, like in this conversation, in the war game scenario, they're not even mentioned in that war game AI scenario. But Meta's chief AI officer, and by the way, Cratchit, this is not the same Meta AI person who had Claudebot delete their entire inbox. This is a different employee from Meta.
This is another person from Meta whose password was also password.
It very well could be. But we'll take a listen real quick to see what they have to say about the state of AI. Here we go.
I mean, first, Mark and myself, we very strongly believe that this is a very special time in human history. And, the discoveries that we make over the course of the next 5 years in terms of AI are going to be some of the most monumental discoveries of, frankly, that human civilization has ever made. And so MSL, Meta Superintelligence Labs, was entirely dedicated towards
what did you say?
Meta Super Lab. Yeah, Meta Super Intelligence?
Superintelligence Labs? Is that? Did they seriously name their division that? That's awesome.
Yeah. Meta Superintelligence. Let's rewind it a little bit here. I typically don't like to do this, but I will today. Here we go.
The Superintelligence Labs was entirely dedicated towards how do we build and develop the most optimal organization to be able to both deliver the breakthroughs and the scientific advancements necessary to deliver superintelligence, and then also build the products that will enable this technology to be deployed to billions and billions of people worldwide. And one of the things that makes Meta such a special place for all of this is the fact that we have such incredible scale and reach through our products. 3.5 billion people utilize our platforms every single day. That puts us in an incredible position to actually bring this technology to the world in a way that's really different, we think, from many of the other AI labs out there.
Stop selling me.
Also, we had the opportunity to, 7 months ago when I joined, really kind of design the org and design the team from a blank slate on what does the optimal team look like for the future of superintelligence. So, we really embraced how do we build the best possible scientific foundations for this organization? How do we have the highest talent density? How do we bring the very best people together and build the best possible environment for breakthrough research to occur?
So he said nothing. And this is who's in charge of Meta's AI. He's a nerd. And he said he what he learned is to say 2 minutes of words without saying anything. Just tell us what you're doing, man.
He's building super intelligence, Mike. Get it right.
That's not helpful for me, and it's certainly not going to help us win the war with Iran, even if that's what we're looking to do. But yeah, that's AI in regards to Meta. And no wonder they're kind of down in the rankings here. I'm sure Mark Zuckerberg is very disappointed in the performance of his AI team. And they're throwing billions at this thing. I mean, they probably spent $1 billion in just the branding alone in the Meta Superintelligence AI lab. That name alone cost a lot of money. But they're burning capital. It's okay. They got the money. They got that kind of money to do that kind of thing.
There's many people on the face bags giving them their money.
Yeah.
I bet you were on face bags today, scrolling through, looking at stuff.
No, I wasn't. Mm-hmm. You don't know that. Were you watching me on there? Were you watching all the Facebook Marketplace deals I'm looking to buy? I'm looking to buy old tube amps and
check out that amp. Yeah. That's a good one.
Trying to find a
I
good.
could drive over there in 45 minutes.
Trying to find a good, Nintendo 3DS to buy. No, I can't find that.
Was that the 3D one they made? And no, that was the
that was the Virtual Boy.
Virtual Boy.
They called it 3DS. I don't think there's anything too much 3D about it. It was kind of like the dual screen, the 2DS, but I think it just had more power.
It's had one more.
Yeah, just one more, and it works for me. So yeah, a lot of AI stuff going on, and it's very concerning, especially in relation to warfare that has now been launched, and what that means. Because I haven't even played that video. Maybe you can find it, Cretched, of China's autonomous robots carrying assault rifles and doing cartwheels and backflips. It looks like they have a Terminator army over there. Unfortunately, I don't know if it is an AI-generated video propaganda put out by China or if they really got these battle bots. It's tough to know. Half this war is propaganda.
Is this... It was these... I've not seen this one. So they're carrying guns?
Yeah, I saw a video of AI Chinese robots carrying guns. And it looks like a very concerning scenario. And those things are using like probably Kimi 2.5 or DeepSeek.
Or they just have a huge pile of humans doing motion capture.
It could be
in the background.
You know what? That might be. It's a very low latency, and you just got a bunch of guys in like a green screen room, and cameras on them, and they're just operating the robots like that, like mechs. Almost like they're wearing an exoskeleton, but remote controlled. All right, I'm going to go on to some additional concerning news. We could be in the middle of a psyop, a pre-psyop. Here we go.
Did you want this Chinese robot video?
Yeah, real quick, if you got it. Let's take a look at this. Well,
you moved on before I had a chance to even go find out.
I just thought, you gave up on it.
I think it's this one. Apparently there's a 40-second version. This one's 16 seconds.
Okay. Well, I'll take both.
Well, I'm looking for the longer
line like soldiers.
Here we go. I'll bring this up on screen so we all can enjoy these Chinese robots together.
And automatically fire when given orders. This powerful robot has been created by Unity Robotics. If AI is added, future wars will go beyond human control.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, because people were sending me like a week or two ago examples of Chinese bots at this like trade show doing like incredible maneuvers, not unlike what we saw Boston Dynamics being able to do a few years ago. So the Chinese are definitely catching up, and they have no moral qualms of putting weapons in these autonomous robots' hands and letting them loose. It's part of their business model. They love it.
And it'll be nothing but good things comes of that.
Yeah, we know. Like, we're still, bombing people the old-fashioned way.
Little bit.
We moved on. So we got, like I said, a little bit of a psyop possibly going on here. People might be familiar with the comedian Michael Ian Black. You know that comedian? I know Joe probably watched The State growing up. It was a sketch comedy show on MTV. And
isn't he the famous genesis of these Star Wars? I get so tired of all these Star Wars.
No,
is that Michael Ian Black.
That was not Michael Ian Black. That was from the Upright Citizens Brigade.
Oh.
And you're talking about this one right here. Right here. Oh,
I'm just so tired of all these Star Wars.
No, that was the Upright Citizens Brigade on Comedy Central in the year 1999 to 2002. Michael Ian Black was in The State in that sketch comedy show lasted. It was in the 90s for about, a 4 or 5 year run. And he's a stand-up comedian. He's done movie parts here and there. He is, I would say, a pants-shitting liberal, but he is a big fan of the UFO phenomenon. And he had this to say about being informed about some very concerning news that may be headed our way very soon. So keep this in mind, people. when you plan for your vacations coming up. No, well, let me make sure Michael Ian Black is on screen. Here we go.
Like they told you an object was coming for Earth and even showed you a picture. And I just find that fascinating.
So I became friendly with somebody in the UFO community, and that person invited me into a small signal chat, literally just three of us. But we were trading information on what we were hearing, blah, 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 blah. And so over the course of 18 months or so, this story begins to emerge from the person who invited me in, that there is an object, it's planet-sized, it's coming from out of our solar system into our solar system, it is decelerating, it has been decelerating for a couple of years, I think, at that point. And it's expected to enter our solar system around 2027. It is intelligently controlled. And when I asked how large it is, I was told massive, possibly even planet-sized. Later, I think maybe a month or two later, I was shown a photograph of this object. It looked like an astronomical image. It was taken from a distance. The thing was like this. It was gray. It was round. It could have been anything, but I was told this is the thing. Now, I was also told, please don't talk about this. This is huge. This is, when people are going to panic, blah, 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 blah. And of course, me being, some jerk off on cable TV, I'm like, what? And I was dubious because as soon as I heard planet-sized, I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense to me at all, because it seems to me if you have planet-sized object entering your solar system, like other planets are going to feel that. Like we're going to see that. It's going to show up. Then again, just because something's planet-sized doesn't mean it has planet-sized mass. So I don't know. That being said, when Corbell released his video of saying there's a lie coming, and the lie is that there's an object approaching Earth and it'll be here in 2027. I was like, not that I believed it to begin with, but I was neither rejecting nor accepting it as a premise. I was like, all right, that's another data point. It's a huge data point and it would be fucking freaky if it were true, but I'm definitely not believing this narrative at that point. But all of that to say, I still feel protective of the person who invited me into the Signal chat. And I feel protective of the person who gave that person their information, not because I'm afraid of any consequences, but just because I don't feel right about betraying trusts. And I was, it never came out, okay, now you can say it. So I don't want to, I just don't feel right about betraying the trust of people who trusted me.
Okay, and that's where he ends it. So he was skeptical. He was dragged into a small Signal chat, and they were talking about this giant planet-sized object that supposedly is going to come in early 2027, late 2026. This rumor has been going around for quite a while. If you look on the OBDM RSS feed for all the times that I've talked about it, I think the first time that we mentioned this possibility was in December of 2022, maybe even in 2023. Now, I think the origin of this, it really started to gain steam of this big object or UFO kind of thing happening in 2027 by John Ramirez, ex-CIA agent John Ramirez. And he was going on and on about 2027, but I think he ultimately got it from Chris Bledsoe, a UFO contactee, and Chris Bledsoe got the information, I believe, from a spiritual entity called the White Lady. So I think it all leads back to Chris Bledsoe, a UFO contactee. And so it spreads like wildfire, and when you hear ex-CIA people talk about it, it gets picked up and propagated. And meanwhile, you have things like the 3-eye atlas that came through our solar system, and we don't really even know exactly what that was, but it didn't turn out to be the doomsday scenario like some people were predicting. but it could be just a big disinformation campaign to get people ramped up. Joe, do you have anything to say about this before I bring up my next little piece of information to support this interesting claim?
Interesting is a interesting way to put it. Michael Ian Black doesn't look like he aged a day past.
He looks good.
Yeah,
looks better than Jim Carrey.
Oh my God, yeah, for sure.
So I referenced 3i Atlas, the thing that came through last year, and John Greenwald of the Black Vault he wanted to remind everyone that, just a reminder that the CIA will neither confirm nor deny the existence or non-existence of records pertaining to the interstellar object 3i Atlas. So he went looking for the documents, see if the CIA did any sort of threat analysis, if they had any internal discussions about 3i Atlas, and they refused to say. Because you would assume if it was benign, they would just release it. So maybe there's something here, and just for the record, for the sake of transparency of the show, I know Poly Markets has predictions on whether or not the U.S. government will confirm the existence of ET by the end of 2027. So do I think there's another prediction market out there. What is it? I think it's Kalshi. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where do you bet, Cratchit? Where do you bet on this stuff?
Poly Market.
I use Kalshi. Kalshi has. I use Kalshi. It's KAL.
The name of a delicious, healthy cereal.
Could be. But Kalshi now has it at 22% yes that the U.S. will confirm the existence of ET by the end of 2026. And so I put down $50 on that one, Joe. And if I win, if they do confirm aliens before the end of the year, I get about $200 right there.
Yay! Okay, I need money.
Not bad. Pretty good. I do have other people talking about this. I have a couple more people talking about insider information about 2027. But according to the Atlantic here, someone made a very big bet on Kalshi about confirming the existence of ETs. It looks like an insider, this is according to the Atlantic here, it looks like an insider bet on aliens. On Monday night, someone placed a particular bet on a prediction market's Kalshi at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time. A single trader put down $100,000 on the claim that by the end of December 2026, that the Trump administration will confirm that alien life or technology exists elsewhere in the universe. So that's a significant amount of change to put down on this prediction market. So maybe somebody knows something that Trump's going to give a speech in, it's speculated May or July about the existence of ET. And for that $100,000 bet put down, you'd walk away with over $2 million. So not a bad bet, especially if you know the outcome. So it's all happening, is what I'm trying to say. And we'll move it over to Joe here, so he can let everyone know about all the good news happening in the world.
Already?
Yeah, we're gonna get over to you. You got a lot to say. You got a lot of stuff going on over there.
It's all happening. Look, it's all happening. We just show up and it's all happening. We're here, and this is happening. This is happening.
I just, it's been how long since we have to talk about those blood-drinking criminals in Israel?
2 days.
2 days?
We don't have to talk about them, but they're in the news.
It's just, it's so disappointing. Let's do straight up report here.
Welcome back if you're just joining us here on Al Jazeera. Let's just bring you some breaking news, which we're getting on the Reuters news agency, that Israel has launched preventative attacks. Preventative attack against Iran. Israel's defense minister says air raid sirens have been heard in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem. That's according to the Reuters news agency. Witnesses say they've heard explosions in Iran's capital, Tehran. So let me just tell you that again. We're just getting this breaking news now as we come back to air, that Israel has launched a preventative attack against Iran. That's according to Israel's defense minister. And that air raid sirens have been heard in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, according to the Reuters news agency. Witnesses say they've also heard explosions in Iran's capital, Tehran. So we'll obviously bring you more on that developing story as it happens.
There we go.
Nice
we got
way to get us
developing
straight up into
news.
it. Yeah. So then, you kind of knew exactly what was going to happen, because this is how Israel operates: is they put poison pills in all negotiating, and that's if they have any will to meet in the middle of anything. So, you've got Netanyahu funding Hamas by way of Qatar, and the whole rationale for them to do all this is because if they can get support for Hamas, then they can always say, we can't negotiate with Hamas, they're crazy. And so it basically guarantees that they'll never have to, no two-state solution or anything like that. So in similar fashion, and maybe watch this video and read the tweet on this Mohammed Shahada.
So I'll read this real quick before. So peace within reach as Iran agrees no nuclear material stockpile. So, okay, that sounds like a good step forward.
Yeah.
Agreed to you that they have never done before. Can you give us any sense?
The single most important achievement, I believe, is the agreement that Iran will never, ever have a nuclear material that will create a bomb. This is, I think, a big achievement.
Yeah.
This is something that is not in the old deal that was negotiated during President Obama's time. This is something completely new. It really makes the enrichment argument less relevant, because now we are talking about zero stockpiling. And that is very, very important, because if you cannot stockpile material that is enriched, then there is no way you can actually create a bomb, whether you enrich or don't enrich. And I think this is really something that has been missed a lot by the media, and I want to clarify that from the standpoint of a mediator.
So,
is there anything more you want me to get in there? Because it's just kind of like background.
Well, yeah, and it says the accompanying text with the post is, within hours of Oman's foreign minister saying Iran agreed to zero enriched uranium stockpiling, Israel immediately bombs Tehran, and the U.S. promptly joins. So if you remember when Trump dropped the F-bomb after Iran bombed, or after Israel bombed Iran, this was immediately after a ceasefire deal was agreed upon. Israel's like, fuck you, we're going to throw a bunch of bombs.
They don't
over
know
Iran.
what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. And it's like, oh my God, it's humiliating. You know what I mean? Like, as an American, I'm like, you people have drank so much blood and fucked so many kids that you have no choice but to murder people on behalf of this terrorist state. It's insane.
What about the speculation that this is in part about diminishing Iran's capability to attack Israel, but it's also to bust up the ability for Iran to be a close ally to China. Like this is about China.
It's a little less about that than it is about the Epstein files and conquest for that region. Like, Israel just wants to be the hegemon. I don't think China's like, Yeah, that's a stretch. I mean, they're being forced into partnerships only because Israel and the United States are so insane. But no, this is about greater Israel. This is about Netanyahu knows that he's lost the public, and if he doesn't do it now, he'll never have the opportunity to do it, and it still looks awful on Israel. It still looks terrible on the United States. That's what it is. They've lost the public. That's why Charlie Kirk had to get murdered. You know, they knew that the youth they're already losing the youth. That's why they were going to ban TikTok until they decided to sell it to a Jew, the biggest donator to the IDF, Larry Ellison, so that they could police speech and thought and language. Because, you know, it's anti-Semitic to notice. By the way, Ellison is buying up all the fucking media. So if you say that Jews run the media or own the media, I mean, it's basically pointing out what's actually true, but that's somehow not appropriate. It's crazy.
It's a little weird. They certainly they carry a lot of power in the media. That's for sure. Undeniable.
So then there are some people who are super happy about this, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is Dave Rubin, and this is somewhat unrelated, but it's a fun little post.
Okay.
You want to pull that one up?
I do like fun posts.
Yeah, there's some good news here.
Okay. Owen Benjamin is, I believe, talking about a quote here. Quote, Candace Owens is a demon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to let this guy F my A and say it's love and buy a kid while I start a war. I think he's paraphrasing, or it's a hyperbolic statement in relation to Dave Rubin.
Yeah.
Yes. Because Dave Rubin he was going after Candace, I believe. So.
Yeah. Oh, and he, you know, I say it on the show, and most people know, but Dave Rubin, there's no such thing as Palestine. There's no such thing as a Palestinian people. The Israeli army is the nicest army in the world. They drop leaflets and say, could you please move? We're going to drop bombs all over your neighborhood. So They're super nice. It's crazy. So then let's check in with another person who's having a great day. And this is unrelated as well, but just to give you an idea of what a ugly, awful, fucking little demon elf this guy is.
Okay, so this is our friend Ben Shapiro, big friend of the show. Don't agree with him at all, but he's still a friend. Here we go.
And if you're upset now, wait until you see this bill. Your heads are going to explode. Actually, maybe explode. It's pretty spectacular stuff that we're doing. That's what we do here at Daily Wire. We fight the fight. We need your help to continue to fight in the culture and to win and to do the thing no one else will do. So please, come join us here at DailyWirePlus.com. Join the fun. And if you're upset now...
Okay.
Does it seem like fun?
When I think of the Daily Wire, I don't think of fun.
Mm-mm.
I've never heard Ben Shapiro intentionally say one funny thing, nor do I associate anything at that organization with fun, entertainment. They might do so. I don't know. Maybe they create some films, but no, they're not fun. It's not fun. It's not funny.
Yeah. So
it's my opinion.
It's not very good. Your opinion's fine, but the Daily Wire is not that.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is Ben Shapiro on Wednesday. This is more related to everything.
Okay, Ben Shapiro. He's coming back in a big way to really tell people what he thinks. He's been holding back for a long time, but now he feels the need to be honest. Okay, here we go.
If the United States backs off of this and cuts some sort of unbelievably weak deal, the consequences will not just be for the Middle East, where Israel will be forced to ramp up its military even more and probably go and attack Iran itself, given Iran's capacity and increasing capacity in both nuclear and ballistic missile development. And if the United States backs off of...
So he's saying basically we have to do it. Like, we can't back off. We have to do it.
I have to do it.
Okay.
It's like, who says? And he's so full of shit. Like, everybody sees through this, where it's like, oh, see, we dropped our bombs on Iran and took out all their nuclear facilities. And oh, by the way, it's been a few months and they've got them all reconstituted.
Let's listen to that statement one more time.
If the United States backs off of this and cuts some sort of unbelievably weak deal, the consequences will not just be for the Middle East, where Israel will be forced to ramp up its military even more and probably go and attack Iran itself, given Iran's capacity and increasing capacity in both nuclear and ballistic missile development. And if the United States.
So basically, if we don't help out, we in the United States don't help out, Israel's going to take matters into its own hands. And they'll go it alone. And Israel is perfectly capable of going it alone at this point. So why not? Why not just go it alone? They have, obviously, the military hardware. We've given them, I think, all of it.
Yeah. So these clips have been flying around. And it's just like anyone, like boomers are the only people who would be excited about this, I guess. And then Zionists, like war pigs, Zionists, bloodthirsty monsters. Those are the only people who are excited about this. But just for context, I mean, this is like, it almost feels like it's inevitable. It was inevitable.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. It doesn't matter. And that's what we were saying at the start of the show before, for the audio only people on the stream. It doesn't matter who's at the wheel of this ship. We're on autopilot. And the captain is just there to wear the hat. It's a cool hat,
yep.
But,
It is.
If you take away the Soviet Union and its chief proxy, the PLO, international terrorism would collapse.
Turn it up.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. Obviously, we'd like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq. The question now is a practical question. What is the best place to proceed? It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out? It's not a question of whether you'd like to see a regime change in Iran, but how do it...
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
The answer is categorically yes. The two nations that are vying, competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran. But a third nation, by the way, is Libya as well. Libya is
we can do that too.
Trying very rapidly to build an atomic bomb capability. So you have here now three nations.
All stand together to stop Iran's march of conquest, subjugation, and terror.
Okay.
I know that no matter on which side of the aisle you sit, you stand with Israel.
I'm still sitting down. I mean, I'm sitting in the aisle.
Why do they worship this guy? It's crazy.
And that's it right there. And you notice both Democrats and Republicans back in 2015 right there, they all stood for that. So, okay. It's a bipartisan issue.
There's a lot of these going around. Tucker had one. Megyn Kelly had one. This is another one. I don't know where this one came from, but it's just these montages of Netanyahu, boy cried wolf. And you could see that it's like he's like the cornerstone of what Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin and Laura Loomer and all these other people say. Like, they just repeat what Netanyahu says, and some are more elaborate, like with Ben Shapiro, the nuclear armed intercontinental ballistic oh, it sounds super smart, Ben, but unfortunately none of it's true.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Here is Netanyahu. I don't know. Oh,
good old Benny.
This is just from just over a year ago. Here we go.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time.
Oh,
it could be a year. It could be within a few months.
Oh, man.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb. Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade. Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Oh, my Lord.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very
we can just put this on repeat, and people won't even know. we could just loop that for the rest of the entire show. It's so well edited.
They could make a little BB bobblehead where when you tap it, it just says, Iran is 2 weeks away.
We got you.
So
It's a made-up tale.
This is interesting because this is another one of these Zionist shills who I thought I liked for a minute, and then I was like, wait a minute. You're like Dave Rubin.
Not this time.
So this is Anna Kasparian, man. Whatever happened to her? More of that, please.
Okay, let's see here. She was a Young Turk, right?
Yeah.
I think yeah. Oh, she's still in the Young Turks? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I like Chunk and Anna. They're progressives,
They've come around, haven't they?
I don't agree with them on everything, but they're the type of people that you can find common ground with, and that's what I like. Same with Jimmy Dore.
Yep.
When we inevitably get dragged into this war, when we inevitably end up spending tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions, if not a trillion, depending on how long that war with Iran lasts, will you guys come back on this show and at least admit I was right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Conversely,
hold on
though,
a second.
if it ends within 6 months, Iran is defanged and the Abraham Accords are expanded, will you admit that?
Yeah, of course.
Of
course.
then.
What I'm
Let's
saying
see.
is that Trump is not going to allow himself
Let's
to be
see.
dragged in. I just don't think
I
it's a
hope not.
possibility. You have way too much. Look, I don't have
It's
that
not-
much faith in any politician.
I'm not saying,
but
you know
look at
that
his
I'm not
first
MAGA.
term, though.
There's no way he's going to let himself be pushed around by anybody, including
The
Netanyahu.
final thing I'll say about this, and then we can move on, is we currently have a United States Congress that's nickel and diming the fuck out of Americans by focusing on cuts to Medicaid, SNAP benefits. In the meantime, we are sending tens of billions of dollars to Israel so they can fight their wars.
I would much rather defend Israel than defend Iran.
By the way,
you don't have to
not
do
just
either.
defending Iran. You go on X and you see a lot of people on the right, conservatives,
Very
who also
true.
completely agree with Anna. They don't want to see American lives taken. They don't want to spend trillions of dollars
No
on
one
another
does.
war.
Well, nobody
okay?
does.
So then what's your point? Let's say, okay, so China and Russia are now saying that they will back Iran. What are we to do then if we get in that position, Adam, where they're saying, okay, now American men on the front line, are you pro-America or are you pro-Israel?
Jeez, okay. Jeez.
It's crazy.
So Adam is on the PBD podcast, and nobody likes him. If you read any of the comments, see a post go by on Instagram or anything, everybody's like, how is he still there? Fire him and everything. And PBD has apparently been Tim Pooled. He's like, he's a Dave Rubin. It's just like, it's all over for
So what's happening is it's the neoconification of the right. And so Donald Trump had the MAGA and we're Make America Great Again. And then the American First Party, but it's been neoconned. And so that the late 1990s neocon, neo-Democrat have combined, and that's what's been in charge pretty much since then when it comes to foreign policy.
Do you catch when Adam they're saying, like, when Anna's saying, Israel's going to pull off this war, and you're going to be there to defend them when they start this war? And Adam's like, well, I'd rather defend Israel than Iran. It's like, how about just not any of it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How about
It's
no
like
war?
this binary. Yeah. You're forcing a binary on us.
Yeah. And we're fluid. We're very war fluid.
Yeah. So anyhow, you know how Larry Silverstein and
Lucky Larry.
he likes to get the insurance policy to the Twin Towers for terrorism insurance just a few months before the terrorism happens.
Yeah. Did he take out a new insurance policy?
And then Lutnick and his friends make a bunch of money on the backside of charity, and who knows who was shorting United and American, so everybody made a bunch of money. And I'm sure there's a bunch of different ways people are making money off of this one, but this was a tweet I saw go by, sort of along the lines of your alien disclosure, but Iran related.
Oh, looks like someone likely in the Trump or Netanyahu administration woke up a millionaire today. Yes, an insider account on the Poly Markets platform placed a large bet on events with the wording, the U.S. will attack Iran before March 1st. The bet was placed just a day before the start of the invasion. So, due to the high odds, the winning turned out to be quite substantial. Yes, this is insider trading at this point, and I think we have a right to know if this is actually somebody in the administration or has insider knowledge.
I mean, of course it is.
Of course.
That's what these goddamn criminals do.
Yes.
It's like, if we're going to murder a bunch of people, we might as well make a bunch of money from it, too.
I need money.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
I really need some money!
Going back to a little bit towards where we started, this is having to buy TikTok and all that stuff. Like, it's all because of this reason. And rather than just not be a bunch of dicks,
that's hard.
Israel is like scooping up the media, making, any criticism of Zionism and Israel's policy is anti-Semitic. And they think that this is going to work for them. But this chart came out. They knew if they don't do it now, they're going to be even worse looking because their favorability has gone through the floor. So I'll read this one.
Well, real quick before you read this, you know, Joe, and anybody out there, if you've gone to therapy, it takes a lot of work to do self-reflection and change. It's way easier just to blame other people.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is that these people are such sociopaths and narcissists that it's like, how dare you say anything bad about me? Like, and I've been in this situation where I was like under a lot of stress. I was going through a lot of depression, and it's like, you want to make sure that nobody's even thinking things bad about you. So you got to, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, what were you thinking? And you get paranoid and all. And that's what these folks are. I mean, they're just neurotic. They're paranoid, and they don't know why everyone hates them. And it's like, hello? Like, we see what you're fucking doing. You've been calling, or you've been saying Iran's got a bomb gonna have a bomb for the last 40 years.
Hello.
And you think like this time it's true? Like, you could say it all you want, but we know it's not true, and we know you're just a bloodthirsty, maniac. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I have the tweet here up on screen. It's a good tweet, I think.
Yeah, so Americans no longer sympathize with Israelis over Palestinians, and if you see the chart, it is a super dramatic drop off.
Yeah.
So the public now sympathizes with the Palestinians largely. Responses among Americans to the question, in the Middle East situation, are your sympathies more with the Israelis or more with the Palestinians? So that was the question, and between it looks like around 2000, you had 16% for the Palestinians, and now you have 41% for the Palestinians, and then you had 51% sympathizing with the Israelis at the same time at the beginning, and now you have 36% sympathizing with the Israelis. So that is a massive switch.
So this is the underdog situation where when Israel was really formed, they, like 1940s, early 1950s, they were considered, I would say, the Americans considered them to be much of the underdogs in the Middle East. So we Americans, we love the underdog. And so we have a lot of allegiances to underdogs. Israel is no longer the underdog. The Palestinians are considered the underdog. And so I think that this graph shows how Americans feel. We like the underdog story. And when it comes to Palestine versus Israel, Palestine is considered the underdog, at least when it comes to technology, weapons, and policy influence.
Yeah. So how this all ties into Epstein, Candace Owens, and Charlie Kirk.
Oh, boy.
Tucker Carlson, even. This was the problem. If you put up that poll back before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, he puts up a poll.
Yeah, I got that poll right here. Some big facts.
Yeah. So it says Charlie Kirk puts out a poll on X. Should the U.S. get involved in Israel's war against Iran? This is from June 2025, so a few months before they kill him. And it's 90% no, 10% yes. So
wow, that's quite telling. It's just, we're tired of war. The majority of my life at this point, Joe, and yours,
I know,
has been the U.S. at war with somebody in the Middle East. Like the time when we were growing up in the 90s, that was cool. There was not a lot of war. There were some sanctions. There were some bombings here or there, but none of this prolonged war. It seemed like it was kind of quick action now. And the reason why, and I would count myself in this pool of people that voted for Donald Trump, was to keep us out of World War III or IV. And it seems as though he has been so neoconned, and they must have something on him that he's acting like a neocon, and he's dragging us into more wars. And that's not what we voted for.
It's not.
Hoodwinked.
So yeah, there's more Charlie Kirk stuff if you may.
Yeah, sure. You before I play this,
did I not put it in there?
No, I got it. I got just before I play this. Did Candace start her series yet?
Oh yeah,
she did. Okay.
Well, and it is about Charlie Kirk, but it's more about like digging into like, because everybody was giving her shit about like everybody grieves differently, but Erica Kirk has been acting all weird. We talked about it last show. And so now she's started to do like what she does, which is, she did the same thing with Bridget Macron and trace back the family lineage. And so she's doing that with Erica Kirk, and it's already like, oh my God, this is nuts. So she just has a way about her.
Well, the good news is we have a legal system here. If she says anything out of bounds or illegal, she can file a lawsuit.
Yep.
They can. They can do that. Here we go. This is Charlie Kirk when he was alive, okay? Just to clarify.
Yeah, right.
Let's do some updates about Israel and Iran and potentially the United States. On one side is the Lindsey Graham, John Bolton types, where they are actively calling for regime change. Here is Lindsey Graham. This is just lunacy. This kind of analysis is not helpful. This kind of approach, this kind of argument, it has nothing to do with nuclear weapons at this point. This is now that we want to go all in and take out the regime. It's time for us to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen and start a new chapter in the Middle East. And that sounds good, doesn't it?
I'm all riled up.
What have we learned when it comes to wars, and especially wars in the Middle East? What you draw up on a whiteboard rarely happens. What you think theoretically is going to occur, there might be unintended and unforeseen consequences, especially when you're talking about a country 2.5 times the size of Texas. It has 90 million people and was an ancient and great power with well over a dozen ethnic groups. You have underground Christians. You don't really have many Jews left in Persia. But also you have secular younger Persians. Who's going to run the country exactly, Lindsey Graham? This sounds like Hillary Rodham Clinton in Libya. So I'm pointing to the first extreme right now, the neoconservative extreme. We must go take off the head of the snake right now. Play cut 285.
Be all in, President Trump, in helping Israel eliminate the nuclear threat. If we need to provide bombs to Israel, provide bombs. If we need to fly planes with Israel, do joint operations. But here's the bigger question. Wouldn't the world be better off if the Ayatollahs went away and replaced by something better? Wouldn't Iran be better off? It's time to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen. Let's close that chapter soon and start a new chapter in the Mideast, one of tolerance, hope, and peace.
Okay, that sounds good, but that's pathologically insane. I'm sorry.
Then go to
How
the
do
next
you know
one, 'cause
it's going to be better? Yeah,
it's similar. Like there'll be some repetition here, but it comes to a point.
Okay. I'll bring this up. This is also CK. Now, I said when he was live, it's we have to say that, unfortunately, now, because there's AI, there's AI voice videos, and this is the lead up.
The neocons that have been wrong about every major foreign policy decision of the last 20 years. They were wrong about Afghanistan. They were wrong about Iraq. They were wrong about Libya. They were wrong about Syria. They were wrong about the Arab Spring. The entire Middle East is filled. It is at capacity with their failures. You cannot point to a random Middle East country without seeing somewhere that John Bolton, Lindsey Graham, and the entire gang of ferocious neoconservatives have messed up.
Yeah.
The neocons that...
Yeah. The neocons, the neoliberals, they're to blame here. All the people that stood in 2015.
Yeah. So then, again, a little bit more on Seeker.
See here, let me close down. I got to close down some tabs. I'm feeling like Joe over here. I got 5 million tabs open. I got to save. You're like a tab guy. You have like 5 million tabs open, I think.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, I gotta close my tabs down. I gotta save memory. Here we go. I'm gonna get this going here though. 1 second. This is an Instagram clip. What it really happened to Charlie Kirk. Here we go. Let me get this up on screen for everyone. Come on, I'll load up. Here we go. Load it up. It won't let me unmute it. Interesting. Sorry, Joe. It won't let me unmute this.
What?
It won't let me unmute this unless I log into Instagram.
Well, why aren't you logged in?
I'm not logged in on this browser. Let me see. Interesting.
Well, maybe I download it.
I don't know. I'm sorry I can't play that.
I'll just download it.
Yeah, I can't play it. I want to, but it won't let me log in over here. So I play all my clips through the Brave browser, and I don't log into any social media on my Brave browser. I kind of keep that one clean for the most part, and then I'll log into things on other browsers. But I don't know. This is the way I have things set up here.
What is that, Crutchin?
I'm trying to get the same one to play by embedding it directly using one of those proxies, but it's not coming up.
Yeah, I think they did.
I'm going to drop the MP4.
Okay, thank you. Let me download this, and I'll play it. I'll get it up on screen, people, but you can hear the audio until then. If the audio is still playing.
Yeah, I feel like there's no audio.
Yeah, I feel like there's no audio here. Like something's going on. Like I have it now, and it's like
Joe, was there music in the background on this? Perchance, do you remember? Because they may have stripped it for copyright.
Yeah, I don't know. No, that's unfortunate because it's these are people who you wouldn't think are normal. It's some I'll just say it, some brothers sitting around and they're putting the pieces together. And it's the pieces that belong together. It's not Tyler Robinson with a 30-06, like we discussed, putting it together on the roof and then taking it apart with a screwdriver that he leaves on the roof and then assembling it and putting it in a blanket and all that stuff. Like nobody with a brain is buying any of that, and these guys are, unfortunately we can't get the audio here. But yeah, it's
hold on, I got the audio. I had to log into my other browser, and so I can play the audio. I can't play the video over there, but I can play the audio. So this is the best I can do.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure this audio's up. Here we go.
I believe Charlie Kirk was assassinated by Israeli operatives working within the United States government. He was becoming too vocal about Israel's control over the United States of America. And I believe the white power structure and the Israeli operatives that run it, because let's be clear, America's infrastructure is very much dominated by Israelis. Very much dominated by Israel. That's why everybody who gets elected president in this country has to go to Israel and put on the cap and pay respect. You have to bow down. They run this country. They run the government. They own the politicians. They own the infrastructure, the universities, Hollywood, the music companies. They run this country. Look how tough Donald Trump is, right? He's supposed to be this maverick, right? Cowboy. Why he never flexed like that with Israel? Do you realize Donald Trump has not went against a single thing yet that Netanyahu has done? And you can't tell me he liked the Israelis, because guess what? I don't think he does. He's scared of them. He saw what they did to Charlie Kirk, they can do to other people. They did it to John F. Kennedy.
Damn, okay. This is what I was talking about with the superstate, is as though Israel and the United States merged. We have a superstate, and they're only separate in name. They basically
that's why they say Israel's the 51st state, but they're more like DC, and DC is like, middle management.
Yes. Okay. I can see that. Sure.
Anyhow, I'll stop there because I'd rather hear from Stan or get some phone calls going.
Yeah, sure.
I'm like super depressed about this. I'm very upset about it.
It's very unfortunate, and that's why it's important to go out and find some good news. And I will try to find some good news for next week.
Yeah. Before we get off this topic.
Yeah.
Just because I've been working on shit here in the background. Give me a second.
I see you got an interesting GIF going on screen. It looks like...
That was Joe.
But it looks like Netanyahu giving Trump a Heimlich maneuver.
Yes.
Because
he's choking on something there.
Yeah.
Choking on a hot dog.
Food, bacon, ham, apples.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. You probably want to download that.
I do want to download something.
Hot off the slop press.
Are you slopping us?
Stop slopping us.
And this is super sloppy.
All right. Well, here we go. There you go.
That is not bad.
Turned on the news, looking for the truth. Saw another suit selling fear to the youth at Bomber Ram. Make a stand. You got them rocking and a rolling, locking and controlling Bomber Ram.
I had always kept my composure. All of a sudden, I felt a little wind. Yes.
It's pretty good there, Cratchit. Yeah.
That is good.
Send that to Trump. He'll love it.
Jesus.
You'll play it at his next campaign rally.
Probably would.
Yeah, he would.
By God, I enjoyed it.
I tried to make there's not many lyrics actually in that song. If you go back and look at the original one. I tried to make it as anti-war and cynical as possible, but we'll see.
Still going to get sued by Brian Wilson and his estate.
He's personally scrolling through YouTube.
Yeah, he's got nothing better to do. All right, we are going to do what we have to do. We're going to take some phone calls, and we'll be mostly happy to take them.
Go ahead and take the phone calls.
513-461-2175. We'll take calls from anybody.
Kevin, David, Tyler, Daryl, Joseph, Paul, Gordon, Todd, James.
all those people, or
Danny,
Brian,
Russell,
Mike,
Katie, Brian, Jenny, James, and Lynn.
Okay. I almost got it. Caller, you're on the air.
You're on the air. Welcome.
Hey guys, how's it going? Stan, Alaska.
Well, Stan, how you doing?
I was really hoping you were wrong.
Wow.
Stan?
I said March, but no, they had to pick this Friday, Saturday, combination. So yeah, it was, obviously foretold. It was already baked in, but now the U.S. is calling this Operation Epic Fury. And I was like, what? You missed the opportunity to call it Kung Fury. And then Israel, first they called it the Shield of Judah, and now they're calling it Roaring Lion. So they're mad. They can't even, and they already said this was baked in weeks ago, which was already very obvious. The State of the Union, Trump was just kind of like twitching, going like, I know we're going to bomb Iran and it's going to happen this weekend, but I can't tell the people. And their justifications were just really piss poor. And now, Strait of Hormuz is being affected. And they do this, late, so that way it doesn't affect the silver prices and the oil prices and those commodity prices. So that way they can then, before the markets even open, their friends, all their associates get to buy in.
Yeah.
And all the people who did the poly market bet for the end of February, they won their millions of dollars.
So you say this is a win-win for everyone besides us.
Absolutely.
And Iran.
That's why these guys and Iran. Well, now all the other countries around there. So Bahrain's been hit, Saudi Arabia's been hit, Kuwait's been hit.
Wait, what have they been hit with? What have they been hit with?
Iranian either drones or missiles.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting.
And I think Iran knew that the scenario was there's no way they can protect everybody all around them. So they have limited amount of, ballistic missiles, anti-drone, warfare. So the Iranians have now chosen to, choose and hit, I guess, less guarded targets.
Yeah, it's called the windmill technique. When you get into a fight and you start swinging your arms around, flailing, you're going to hit anything you can. And it's a tactic,
Yep. Yeah, so this is going to go on. At least the planning, the budgeting, and the amount of missiles they got will only last them about 2 to 3 weeks. They're hoping to kill out the regime, get the people mad enough that they will revolt within. That way they don't put boots on the ground. In the negotiations were an absolute ruse, but that was very obvious from the get-go. And the reports that they said that Iran was at the very end said, yeah, we'll stop doing enrichment of uranium.
Yeah,
I think that's just a bunch of baloney.
Sure.
But Iran already has a bomb. That's the song is very applicable that they have the bomb too. So bomb Iran and Iran has the bomb. So we need to make another clip for that. And this is just neocon tripe. It's just regime change, spend more money, Pete Hegseth and all these other guys all having, major orgasms, Lindsey Graham, Ben Shapiro. These guys are getting what they want, which is death and destruction. It distracts from the Epstein files. It distracts from all the criminals who need to be arrested.
It's a win-win.
And yeah, it's a win-win. So Trump and Netanyahu will eventually, in the court of public opinion and internationally, they will be held as war criminals, but that's going to be years down the road once all the banksters and all the globalists get what they want out of this, which is death, destruction, abducting more children, all across the area, and having a Build Back Better. So we get a Build Back Better in Dubai and in Bahrain, in Saudi Arabia. So you got to remember, this is all part of destruction capitalism, shooting oil prices through the roof. And, it's just sick. These guys are they're all psychopaths, sociopaths. They want death and destruction, and they will be held accountable. And you got to just stop, all the Trump worship, all the MAGA stuff. Just eat the glyphosate and enjoy life. That's what they want you to do. Well, they think you're that stupid.
The UN has already come out and condemned this. Now, I know it's the UN. They don't carry much weight, but they were pretty rapid in their response of condemning this. So, and this directly runs counter. If you remember, Trump gave a speech last year in the Middle East saying pretty much, we're going to leave you alone. and then this Epstein file stuff, and so it does look like this is blackmail. Like, he wouldn't have done this otherwise.
No, there's no benefit outside of what they told him. They said, we're going to murder your entire family. We're going to do horrible things to you unless you go along with us. And they give him the option, say, if you want to benefit along with us, we'll give you the insider information, and your sons and all your family members and everybody, your associates, we can all make bets and do put options. We can do shorts. We can buy insurance, and we can all go together and make a bunch of money and look like very successful people, and all go together. But at the end of the day, you need to kill these people because, they're baked in. We have to have regime change so that way we have order out of chaos, because look what's happened to Libya. Look what's happened to Iraq. Look what's happened to Venezuela. And as everything falls behind it, people, lose out of the news cycle, like, because we all got short attention spans.
Busy.
All the oil deals in Venezuela, all the oil deals now in Libya, all the oil deals in Syria. Like, it's going to, and the fact that Iran, I don't know why they actually don't attack Israel's actual infrastructure. That's the thing that's always plagued me, where I start believing that, that part of Iran really is going along with this. But there's lots of subterfuge. There's lots of espionage, and Iran's cooked. And with Russia and China, if they don't defend this area will become given over to the neocons, and it will become part of the next, part of the whole Middle East that's going to be run by a bunch of bureaucrats and
look at Russia.
Globalist people. Real quick on the AI thing. So now with Claude AI getting the boot, and Sam Altman supposedly getting more, love from the Department of War, Department of Defense, and also potentially Grok going in, do you guys think that Claude AI Anthropic's going to be kind of devalued because the Trump administration said, in 6 months, no groups that work for the Department of Defense, Department of War, are allowed to use the Claude AI, Anthropic AI going forward.
They can say that all they want. I suspect that they will. Some people will use it, but they're going to have to work out some kind of deal to where it can only be used on like so-called non-classified material. It's a superior model right now, and people use it. It is the default for doing large-scale, long-thinking problems, and they got it. And so they're going to have to come up with some kind of deal. I think it's going to be used. They're going to be talked to, probably personally, and they're going to be sat down and say, you're either with the United States or you might be declared an enemy of the state. It might be that hard. It might be hardcore like that, but they're going to say this is an existential threat, and either you're with us or we're with China.
Yeah, you give in to the autonomous weapons. You give in to the ability for us to do something. Yeah, I think that's, and because the news cycle on that was pretty intense about trying to play this triangle between Elon Musk, Sam Altman, and then the head guys of Anthropic. Because I think the guys of Anthropic are former OpenAI employees and that kind of stuff. But I think at the end of the day, I don't think Anthropic's technically being thrown under the bus, because those guys, I think, will eventually capitulate and be part of it.
My understanding, so right now, the top leadership at OpenAI, ChatGPT, is run pretty much by marketing people. They're trying to figure out a way to make money with this thing. While Anthropic, Claude AI, the top tier leadership is pretty much run by scientists or data scientists, computer nerds, and so they're clinging to some sort of principle, possibly. And I think at least the majority of them are trying to avoid Skynet, the Terminator scenario, for as long as possible. But they haven't been sat down yet. And they will be sat down very shortly, especially if this Iran war drags on.
So I remember watching Top Gun 2. Who were we attacking in Top Gun 2? I'm forgetting now.
I thought it was North Korea.
I can't remember. Yeah, or space aliens. I can't remember.
It wasn't space aliens, but it was I thought it could have been Iran or North Korea. I never saw Top Gun 2.
Okay. Well, so on the thing you were talking about, the object coming in 2027.
Yes.
Like, can we just all call it Nibiru? Like, can we just get Planet X? Can we just get down to that? Because when you talk about planet size, are we talking about dwarf planet size or Mercury, Earth, Jupiter? Like, you got to be more specific and saying planet size.
We're talking about I think like our moon, and our moon it's a pretty big moon.
Yeah,
it's pretty big. So I think something around that size, but we don't know if it has the mass of that. And if it's artificially constructed and you're steering it towards us, that's not nice. You shouldn't do that. It's a very aggressive move. Like if you pull up your trailer, like your mobile home, in front of somebody's house in their driveway without telling them, that's an aggressive move. And you just don't do that unless you want to start a war.
Yes. That's no moon. It's a space station.
Yeah,
that's the proper thing we need to say here.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Outside of that, I think the space to watch Alex Jones continue to shill for Trump and him to justify and say Iran deserves this.
That's right.
I don't know. I saw. I don't think he's not like super on board. He's walking that fine line. Like he's trying to maintain credibility and his audience, but he definitely is pro-Trump. I saw some. He is trying to walk that line as best he can, and I don't think it's working out for him.
Exactly.
He plays this fake narrative that if Trump isn't back, if he isn't kept in office, then the Democrats are going to arrest us all and this whole move too is to make people angry, and they will vote for the other parties now, for the Democrats in the midterms. But they want that because now, imagine the House. I mean, they will easily next year be like, we have this war criminal Donald Trump who preemptively attacked Iran without being provoked. Yes, sir, you are a war criminal. Like this is so easy to see what they're going to do going forward. It doesn't take any brain power, but these guys are just so arrogant and so cocky. They think they can get away with anything because they know they've got the systems of control in their hands. And
that's what I do.
They're walking around like free men, and Lutnick should have been arrested, during the State of the Union on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like that should have been absolutely in handcuffs. But no, because you toe the line, you do what we say, just continue to be a good foot soldier, and we'll just continue to keep doing this stuff. And now the Houthis are going to start bombing people out of Yemen, the shipping lanes, all the oil. And the poor people in Israel, they're not going to be able. This was during Shabbat. They're not going to be able. Well, and then you put in the thing in the Discord about the Purim coming up on Monday. This holiday, and in the Book of Esther, this is all about the Israelis being potentially killed off by these Iranians or the Persians back in the day. But then the queen was married to Xerxes, and then she got them to turn the tables on them and wiped out tens of thousands of Persians, and they eventually hanged Haman's 10 sons. These guys, and there's the blood moon coming up too. There's the blood moon coming up.
Stan, there's too much going on. We have to cut it off. We have to get to Gretchen now. We have to get to Gretchen. Okay.
I'll enjoy Gretchen's segment. So keep going, guys.
All right, thank you, Stan. And we're cutting over to Gretchen right now. We have to get over there. Yep. We're getting over there right now.
Hey, yo.
Got him.
All right. Let's stay political because for
Yowza.
So Trump's State of the Union speech was on Tuesday.
Yes, it was.
And a bunch of people did their typical we hate anything about Trump, regardless of what he says or does. So here's a bar in Washington, D.C. said, you know what? Some people hate Trump. We're going to give away free beer until he starts insulting people because he insults people immediately. And so we won't have to do any free beer.
Oh.
Well, it kind of backfired.
Well, I got to get let me bring up the archive version.
I got you here.
No, I got
this link.
I can do archive.
No, it's right here. It's right here. I already put it in there.
Oh, you got it already in there? I see. There we go. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Yeah, right here from the Washington Post, they drank free until Trump's first insult. The beer flowed longer than expected.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And for people listening, it's worth describing the photo here. Would best be described as a bunch of awfuls.
And people drinking, they're having a good time, and I've never seen a bar where people sit around and watch in the State of the Union, but there's free beer, so I get it.
No. What I mean is the photo here. The 5 people in this photo are affluent, white, female, ultra liberals. These are awfuls.
Yeah, they're very affluent, too affluent. But the kegs were ready. Revelers crammed against the glossy white bar. The flyer promised free beer until the first insult. The clock started ticking at 9 p.m. when President Donald Trump was scheduled to begin talking on the big screen. Quote, "We had achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before," he said, as Grace Rhodes sipped her first Narragansett lager. Narragansett lager. I think I got that right. I was in the ballpark.
Yes, you were close.
I got it. So
Little bit.
Brewery out of Rhode Island, I believe.
Trump's caustic brand of humor mostly repulsed her, but the 25-year-old self-described policy nerd and liberal still squeezed into Penn Social, a bar less than a mile away from Capitol Hill, along with hundreds of other young people eager to revel in what promised to be a ripe political spectacle. Any jab targeting an individual or group of people or country, as the event page read and defined it, would halt the flow of the gratuitous suds or gratis suds. The manager...
It's free beer.
Yeah, free beer for people, okay? The manager predicted it would happen quickly. Everyone within elbowing distance of Rhodes guessed 5 minutes or less. There. So how long did this last? How long did this guy lose money? Let's see here.
Let's see, what is the date on this one? So they said, no, that was last year was 17 minutes.
So Rhodes expected a seasoned showman to bask in applause, and she figured it would extend everyone's to on the house guzzling for maybe 10 minutes. Then the clock ticked closer to 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and the crowd heard lines like, "Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world, hottest." And our new friends and partner Venezuela bashing the Supreme Court unfortunate ruling to scrape most of its international tariffs didn't count, the bartender ruled. Oh, interesting. So let's see, how long did it last?
Answer, you go all the way down the bottom. It's 45 minutes, and you can read from there.
45 minutes of free booze?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And 45 minutes was not to the first insult. 45 minutes is when they cut people off.
Wow, that is crazy. This guy lost some money here. Holy moly. I mean, you think about it, and plus, it is not cheap to drink in big cities like D.C. That's insane. I wonder how much this guy actually lost. We have any word? Did he ever did he come clean with how much he may have lost here?
I don't know. These are all great questions that you would think a high quality reporter from the Washington Post would be doing, but
yeah,
no.
Oh, okay, so no word on money loss. I'd be kind of curious about that. Let's see here. But it was the start of another hour, punctuated with. So this guy, if he cut people off 45 minutes in, when dozens of patrons were visibly good and drunk, the bartender finally called it. Well, that's not what the flyer said. It didn't. Did the flyer say just until the first insult or 45 minutes? It sounds like this guy is setting himself up for a lawsuit.
We'll need a class action lawsuit.
And
you owe me a bunch of cheap, watered down free beer.
Yeah, we know D.C. is full of a bunch of law guys willing to take this law thing to the Supreme Court if need be. Well, at least someone got drunk, because I don't drink anymore, so good for them. They got it done. They got the job done. And they all hate Trump, so, it's a win-win situation for him.
George Soros.
All right, let's do a little bit of NASA news. This comes from our good friend Herman from Holland.
Cool.
NASA famously going right back to that moon where they've totally been in the past. Oh, wait, no, something's broke again. We still can't go.
Oh, wait a second. What's going on here? Okay. Let's see what's going on. NASA scrubs 2027 moon landing mission as wild claims of ancient megalithic city on lunar surface emerges.
What's going on here?
Interesting. I haven't heard that claim. I heard different claims that possibly the space shuttle, the spaceship, is not quite where it needs to be, but maybe it is an ancient city. NASA has scrubbed its plans to land on the moon in 2027. Maybe they got word of a big spaceship coming, and they said, well, what's the point of going there? They're coming to us. Yeah, well, they scrubbed their plans to land on the moon in 2027 amid a series of struggles to launch the Artemis II spacecraft this month. Space Agency administrator revealed on Friday that the Artemis III, which had been scheduled to touch down on the lunar surface next year, will now only circle the moon, pushing a potential landing mission back to 2028 at the earliest. Well, that's not good. They can't even keep this time frame together, so that's not good.
It's hard to go to the moon, Mike. I mean, come on.
I'm sure it's incredibly difficult, considering it's made of cheese. There's a lot of logistics considerations here. But meanwhile, its predecessor, Artemis II, initially scheduled to take off on February 8th, continues to experience fueling issues that have pushed back its 10-day trek to the orbit until April. The schedule shakeup comes as NASA critics and conspiracy theorists claim the space agency has been delaying the much-anticipated moon mission to hide the presence of ancient structures previously found on the moon's dark side. Well, perhaps.
Again, reminder, there is no dark side of the moon. That's a Pink Floyd album. There's a far side of the moon.
Well, the one that we don't see. I think that's what they're getting at here.
But it's not dark because it gets sunlight. So people conflate those. It bothers me.
Let's see here. However, multiple authors, scientists, and UFO researchers have claimed without evidence that NASA has concealed astronauts' reports of buildings located on the side of the moon facing away from Earth, which could be tens of thousands of years old. Well, actually, there is evidence. They're saying they've claimed without evidence. No, they have claimed with their evidence, which are photographs, NASA transmissions, also testimonies, spoken word by astronauts. There's plenty of things.
Famously, you had astronauts talking about this stuff in tapes that have been lost at times, and they can't, and yet they're talking about seeing structures and things down on the moon. So
there's plenty of evidence. Whether or not it lives up to their standard or not is another question. Now, are there structures on the moon that are produced by ancient civilizations?
Ancient astronaut theorists say yes.
Of course there are. Once Artemis II completes its mission this year, Isaacman revealed that Artemis III will conduct a similar flight in 2027. Okay, well, that's still not the push out. We need to get even more.
Maybe 4?
Yeah, Artemis 4 will do that for us. Let's see here. How's this end up? So the entire sequence of Artemis flights needs to represent a step-by-step buildup of capability, with each step bringing us closer to our ability to perform the landing missions. However, a wide variety of skeptics have alleged that a string of delays is either proof that the original moon missions 50 years ago were fabricated, or that the astronauts surveying the lunar surface found an advanced city there. One military whistleblower, U.S. Air Force Sergeant Carl Wolf, claimed that he had seen pre-Apollo lunar orbiter photos of a city on the dark side of the moon while at the government facility in 1965.
Huh.
Okay. Hey, listen, there's something going on. We're not getting the full story about the moon, and they're being very cagey about this entire situation.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that every time they start talking about, because I mean, you had George W. Bush talking about going back to the moon and then to Mars 20 plus years ago. There always seems to be some sort of delay or reason why we can't do it.
Yeah.
Space Force.
We're trying to get to the moon, but they won't let us get to the moon.
Yeah, we got to go focus on Iran.
Yeah. Now we got to go bomb these people.
Yeah, say that. Oh, now you're on it. The moon is 1 week away from having nuclear weapons.
Oh, my God. We'd be there in 2 weeks.
They'd have balloons strapped to aircraft carriers, firing them up into space as fast as they could.
We got to get
guys
there.
Up there with hammers to break through the firmament. Yeah, they'd be all over it.
All right, let's see what else you got over there, Cratchit.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
All right, so let's go with this one. I mentioned this, and you said we need some good news.
Yeah.
I don't know if you qualify this as good news, but it's fun to think about. Jeez, Palpatine really on.
Palpatine loves good news.
He likes good stuff.
Yes, Tampa Airport issues pajama ban, triggering social media firestorm over dress code controversy.
Good.
Yes. Yes. I didn't know this is a thing. Maybe Joe knows this. I wasn't aware of this, but younger people now go out into the world dressed like complete slobs. They wear like the sweatpants everywhere. They wear like slippers and like this. They just dress like they just rolled out of bed. That's how they leave the house now. And so for this ban at the Tampa airport, this directly affects, I believe, everyone below the age of 25. I'm guessing, but that's just from my experience. And this is a style. This is what they do. This is what these young people dress like now. But according to the Tampa International Airport here, they set off a social media firestorm Thursday when the organization's X account posted an alert telling travelers to stop wearing pajamas at the airport. Well, yeah, I can see that. It's time to ban pajamas at Tampa Bay International Airport. The X post began. We've seen enough. We've had enough. It's time to ban pajamas at Tampa International Airport. After successfully banning Crocs and giving everyone the amazing opportunity to experience the world's first Croc-free airport, it's time to take on an even larger crisis: pajamas at the airport in the middle of the day, the post added. Travelers immediately descended on X to complain or applaud, but it turns out the highly controversial post was a bit of a joke. Was
it, though?
Why was it a joke? How is it a joke?
As somebody who travels a lot, I would love to see people take a little bit of effort to look like, to your point, that they're not just going outside to get the news. Well, people don't go outside to get the newspaper anymore. They're not going outside to get their emergency Starbucks at 7 a.m. But maybe they're dressed like they're going out in public. Now, you don't have to wear a suit. No. You don't have to be all dressed up in business attire. But you can wear sneakers and, some jeans and look decent and not look like you're a frickin' slob in your yoga pants that you shouldn't be wearing, or your sweatpants that have suspicious stains on them.
Yeah, like try put a little effort in. It'll make you feel better too. You don't need to roll out of bed, put your sweatpants on that are covered in dog hair, and then go out into the world. Try a little bit. I know it's. If I didn't even do that, even back when in my punk rock grunge days, I wouldn't walk out of the house wearing the same items of clothing that I woke up in. I just wouldn't feel good about that. I don't know. There is a certain decor you want. There's a certain feeling you want when you leave the house. It's effort, really. But don't worry, people. This is a joke. According to the context of this tweet, many are taking this serious, but the airport later confirmed this is a joke. They're not banning pajamas and Crocs. No, I don't. I think they floated the idea out there and they realized they got backlash.
It's a joke.
No, it's not a joke.
It's a fake. It's a fraud.
It's a fake. It's a fraud. You're an idiot.
You're a joke. You're a fraud. You're a failure. You're an idiot.
That's a classic. Tampa International Airport regularly shares lighthearted, satirical social media content as part of an ongoing effort to engage with our followers. And it turns out to mostly irritate them, too. It sounds like they're a bit of a troll account. Today's post about banning pajamas was another playful nod to day of travel fashion debates. We encourage our passengers to travel comfortably and appreciate our loyal followers. We appreciate our loyal followers who enjoy the online humor. Well, yeah, I know. My wife, when she travels, she likes to travel comfortably. And I get that. Especially for long
You're
flights.
already wearing jeans. Is jeans not comfortable? I don't understand.
No. I think for some people, jeans are too restrictive. And especially
buy clothes that fit.
Well, so I don't know. So what about yoga pants? Are yoga pants considered?
Yes, but yoga pants need to be approved by somebody before you get to the airport, because a lot of people who wear those and wear leggings should not be wearing them.
So you want some sort of fashion police? Okay.
I remember somebody. I was still living in Austin, but they were bitching about people who go to like Whole Foods in their gym clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is how particular people can be. But a lot of people, it's like, I'm going to go get a veggie smoothie or a fruit smoothie after my workout for recovery drinks. But yeah, people would be like, "It is so disgusting. How dare you wear your gym clothes to Whole Foods?"
But if you're on your way home, you got to pick up your Pringles. You got to pick up your mac and cheese to carb load after your workout. So
the airport thing I kind of understand though, but if you still have people of Walmart, as a subreddit, it's like some people just are absolutely tasteless, have no shame.
Yeah. This comes down to personal preference and understanding how the world views you, which, I think the standards have been lowered and lowered when it comes to what's acceptable outside the house.
I have an image up here on screen of some of these people in line. I'm just saying, if you dress like this and you go to the customer service desk because your flight got canceled, good luck.
I like it. You have old people wearing granny pajamas. I like that, like nighties and nightgowns and all. I'm gonna wear that, Gretchen. I'm basically dressed like a 1950s grandpa, and with a nightcap. What happened to why
nightcap?
Why are we not wearing nightcaps anymore? Like stockings on our head. Why did that fall out of fashion? That seems like one you want to keep around. I love it.
I love it.
Well, that's what you wear to bed, not to the airport. So,
and teddy bears. Yes, they're my therapy teddy bear.
Teddy bear. The thing is, I mean, as AI-ish as this image is, it's not that far from reality.
No.
As someone who is routinely in airports, you see people like this all the time.
Well, your good news turned out to be a bit of a joke, so it's not good news. I guess the good news is that they floated the idea, they got backlash. So
okay, well, I got another one then.
All right, let's go.
You're doing so great.
Now, if you remember, I think it was 2 shows ago, we talked about an ad campaign for Los Angeles public transit about please stop pooping on our buses.
Yes.
That they released, they produced and they released this ad campaign, got a lot of pushback, and then they pulled it back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, here's another LA area public transit group, because there's multiple there. That's how the city works. Who has another ad campaign encouraging people to ride a new line, and they're leaning into it.
Okay. Well,
and there's a local news story about this if you want that.
I certainly do. LA's Metro's risque marketing campaign lights up social media. Ooh, wow, okay.
Man, I got mixed emotions about this one.
Yeah, me too. How risque is it?
Just run the locals.
We're going to find out right now once I get this up and going. Here we go.
LA Metro is opening 3 new Purple Line stations on May 8th.
Yeah, the 4-mile expansion runs beneath Wilshire Boulevard, adding stops at Wilshire La Brea, Wilshire Fairfax, and all the way out to Wilshire La Cienega. The $3.7 billion project is the first of 3 phases designed to boost West Side connectivity ahead of the 2028 Olympics. Metro calls it a historic milestone that will make travel faster and more accessible for thousands of daily riders.
All right.
The Purple Line, or D Line, is one of the Metro's most heavily used rail lines. And
Okay.
Metro is cashing in on the new D-Line extension. The agency is selling Ride the D crop tops for $20 and a T-shirt for $21.
Let's
You can
do
get
it.
yours now at shop.metro.net before the extension opens. Crop top.
Not just
That's not the crop top part.
Oh, what were we looking at?
Well,
It's
the slogan,
the
or
phrasing of it
What
sounds
was
a
the
little
slogan?
bit.
inappropriate.
I didn't
Yeah.
see it.
You said it, but
Ride
Do you
the
want to
D.
go back and read
you
it?
don't
Yeah.
need to. I mean, it's just.
Did I say something that
no,
was inappropriate?
You thought the
you
crop
said
top
what
was the
they
most
put on the shirt.
salacious
Hold on,
part.
let me look at
too.
it.
It's fine. You don't need
D-Line
Sometimes the weather guy
to
was
make
good
him
humor.
discover it.
I
as
still
we're-
don't.
Okay.
Still
Well,
Do you
it's
see
just-
it? Does it help when you see it?
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that.
You can hear the weather guy.
You understand this
interesting.
better than anybody
Yeah.
does.
I mean,
Well, what they want
You
you, to do.
understand that?
exactly. That's what they're asking you to do.
You understand
Do what
that?
they want you to do.
You understand me?
We all want to be good citizens.
Right. You know, the environment. And,
We all
We all want to help the city of LA.
doing what we can.
Yes, doing our part.
okay.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, that merch now available.
Yeah.
Check out their website for more information.
Thanks for making me find that.
I love how you thought the crop top was the worst
Yeah.
part of it.
I just
I'm
thought thought it
a
was
crop
interesting.
top
I
is
thought, okay,
Yeah. Oh,
not really.
that's a little risque,
issue.
but okay, crop tops. Some people like them.
they're back.
You understand this better than anybody
He's so
does.
innocent. Kurt.
He is.
So innocent.
I mean, yeah.
Do not fully understand.
Here's-
There you go. These guys having a blast, yucking it up on local news. Don't forget, people, ride the D any chance you get in L.A.
So similar to your comment about the Tampa airport social media folks just kind of trolling. I think the marketing folks at LA Metro are the same thing, but they're sticking with it and leaning into it.
Yeah, good.
Not like their compatriots over at the other agency who got rid of their poo-poo campaign.
If you're going to come up with this kind of marketing campaign, ride it until the very end.
Ride what, Mike? The crop top?
The D. Ride that D.
Penis man.
Well, thank you everyone for hanging out for today's podcast. Go to OBDMpod.com or ourbigdumbmouth.com. I'll be working on something special announcement for Wednesday. If you can, Joe, when you get a chance, send me a good high resolution picture of yourself. And same with you, Cretchen. It's very important for the audience. Thank you.
Not sure I like where this is going.
But if you don't want to, I can use screen caps. I just prefer high resolution images.
Like how high resolution?
4K. I'm working on new merch, you know? Okay.
Well, the merch has to be your face on a shirt that says "Ride the D."
Okay. You know what? The merch writes itself. Right. All right. We're doing it. You can join the Discord. I'll be posting up my merch ideas in there before debuting on the show on Wednesday. So we're gonna finally have some new merch out there, new merch store.
I was gonna say, are you moving to a different store?
Yeah,
You've had
I got a totally new store going, and I'm curating it and trying to have some fun with it.
You've been talking about new merch for 4 years.
Yeah, it's a long process. Long
like
process.
the Guns N' Roses album.
Right.
Better be really good.
Chinese Democracy. And that was a letdown when that came out, wasn't it? That was a big letdown.
Me.
Yeah.
Cobbin.
Someone else also pointed out, as long as you're updating stuff on the website, you still have the old 614 phone number.
I took Friday off to do a lot of administrative work, but I couldn't do any of that work because I got pulled outside to repair stuff. So maybe tomorrow, Sunday, I'll do it. Sunday, I'm going to fix stuff. Thank you, Gretchen. Thank you, Joe Shablagoo, everyone.
Yes, goodbye.
Keep watching the skis. There's planes up there full of people in pajamas.
That's good news.
Major news. No nation.
We need to obey the first law of holes.
That's about all.
Shablagoo.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Till next time, take care of yourself and each other.
Until next week. Nanu. Nanu.
You know, there's a similar story about that in China.